Hey guys, Aaron here. Today I'm going to be using a Polaroid one-step. Now I've actually never used a Polaroid camera. I've never used any instant film. It's still a foreign concept to me of how film could just develop in the light. But I found this Polaroid one-step at a Goodwill one day, and it was in good condition, so I bought it. Now Polaroid still makes SX70 film in color and black and white, and they also make 600 film. And this one-step exposes for SX70 film, 70 ISO film, rather than 600 ISO film. Now I bought this Polaroid one-step because I knew that Polaroid still made film for this camera. But what they don't make film for is cameras like the Polaroid 101, Polaroid 330, the Big Swinger 3000, and the Polaroid Portrait Big Shot. These cameras all take peel-apart film, which would come in a cartridge, metal cartridge like this. And when I bought this camera from an antique shop, it actually still had some film inside. So let's time travel back a few weeks to when I first got home with this camera, expecting to take pictures with it. Okay, this is me from a few weeks ago. I finally managed to pull this piece out. That was the third picture. And it pulled out this. I've been doing this, so I think this first one is overexposed. So let's just pull it out. I think they're supposed to stick. I don't know if it'll work, but... Yeah, so that first pictures are done. Yeah, but this one had no batteries. So I'll need to solder some new batteries on here, and then I'll take a picture with them. So yeah, all of them were drier than the Sahara Desert. Now, if you've never seen this type of film before, you would take the photo here and then you would pull it out. Then rollers would push chemicals that are in this all over the exposed film. That would develop it and it would print onto this piece of paper. And then after a few minutes, you would peel it apart and you would get a nice photo on this. But these chemicals are basically powder now. So yeah. And I bought this camera for $35. But I didn't know that my dad actually had the exact same type of camera. So I didn't even need to buy it. These two cameras are just plastic boxes that are very simple. Fixed focus, you can only change a little bit of the aperture. And this is just completely plastic. You can only focus to right where I'm pointing the camera is. That's fixed focus. It's only for portraits of people. Well, technically, if you're rich, the only peel-apart film you could buy nowadays is this type of film. Fujifilm FP100C. These are basically expired as we speak, but they're probably, in a fridge. But let's see how expensive they are. $800, $1,000 for 50 pictures? Yeah, no thanks. And Best Buy and Walmart actually sell new Polaroid film on the shelves. So let's go to those stores and find some. Okay, so it seems that they only have Polaroid 600 film. 6 or 8. And if I use Polaroid 600 on a SX70 camera, that'll super overexpose it because SX70 is 70 ISO and 600 film is 600 ISO. I would have to use a lot of neutral density filters to stop down 600 ISO to 70 ISO. Or I can go to Walmart and see if they have SX70 film. Well, I just wasted my time coming here. Yeah, so just always buy film online. So for this video, it's basically going to be a vlog style video showing you my first adventures with the Polaroid one-step. So here's my first attempt at a Polaroid.
No flash. Shake it like a Polaroid. It might be a bit dark. You don't have to shake it.
You actually don't shake it. That'll just mess it up.
Just
Do not put your fingers in front.
Okay.
I heard that sound in ages.
Okay, so this is my first photo. It's awfully dark, even the bright highlights are pretty dark, so I'll just up the exposure on that camera. Okay, let's see if the flash works this time. The light's blinking. Ready?
Wowza, it's flashing now. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Let's see how a bright, sunny day works with Polaroid. Oh yeah. So here's my first batch of Polaroid photos. This is the first photo where the flash didn't go off. Yeah. This is the second photo, which I took out of the car. Now, I did take some high-def photos of these Polaroids with my DSLR cameras, and I tried to edit them in Photoshop to make them look a little better. Here's this photo, and here's the Photoshopped. Here's the second photo where the flash actually went off. And here's another photo which my parents took at that restaurant. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit blurry and a bit blown out, but I can fix that a little in Photoshop. Here's a picture of a sunset. The HDR on Polaroid film is not that good. The sunset is blown out and the foreground is just completely black. Here's a picture which my dad took askew for some reason. For this picture, you might not know it, but my mom and my aunt were outside dancing to that concert. SX70 film can't expose for anything less than just bright sunshine or the flash. And here's the last photo I took on a bright sunny day. Yeah, you could see this little smear right in the middle of it. I tried to Photoshop that out. And you know, something I've noticed with all these films, they have a slight purple tint to them. I don't know if that's normal, but that's what I observe. Okay, after I shot my first roll of SX70 film, I decided to buy Polaroid 600 film. Now this is 600 ISO, and this exposes for 70 ISO SX70, so I'll just take a few test shots and then see how it works in this, you know, rather dim indoors. Got two. So, yeah, this. Okay, let's find a good shot. Okay. Okay. This is without flash.
It's perfect. Oh, I had my eyes closed. You gotta do it over again.
It's a pop! And this is with flash. Let's see if it automatically, an SX70 camera automatically exposes for 600 film. You don't even have it. Wow.
Say action.
Okay. Ready? Action! Now I'm gonna try it with the exposure all the way down. Ready?
1, 2, 3,
Go. Okay, so I shot the 600 film that is outside in the bright sunshine, and it was a bit bright. So I decided to tape this neutral density filter onto the top of it, onto the lens. So let's see how it looks. Let's see how that turns out. Easy. Okay, so for the last shot of this, of my second to last roll, I'm going going to take a picture of my Casons.
Casey. Yeah, buddy.
See how that looks. These are my first batch of Polaroid 600 photos. That's the first one where there was no flash, and at night, at least there's some image there rather than just completely black like that 670 film. This is normal flash with normal exposure, and it's a bit bright, but I'm surprised that it didn't just completely blow it out. Here's another picture with the flash, turning the dial slightly downward, which it's still a bit bright. And this is with the dial all the way down. That's more like it. This is with no flash, obviously. It was outside in the bright sunshine. Yeah, very overexposed. This is with a neutral density filter. Yeah, I guess that neutral density filter turned it a bit red, but I fixed that in Photoshop. This is a picture of my cat, Cole. He was yawning in this picture. Yeah, my brother took this photo. Yeah, he was way too close to the cat, and he had the neutral density filter on, so you can barely see the cat except for his little yawning mouth. And this is the last photo. This is my other cat, Casey. He was sleeping in his little bed. Yeah, the flash was a bit bright on this. I could have backed up a little, but I could fix that in Photoshop. Okay, so today is the 4th in July. So I want to take some Polaroids of me going to a family friend and shooting off some fireworks. So you just take your Pop-Tarts. Place it in here. Shield it from the light till the picture's inside.
Perfect. Get a lot closer. Stacy. Come here. There you go. Ta-da! Harmony. They were like, what's that sound? Oh yeah.
Shaking like a Polaroid.
Let's say it with firecrackers and banners held high. Let's have a real old-fashioned noisy 4th of July. Let's say it with firecrackers, they'll soften up north. Let's have that kind we used to call glorious 4th. Let's salute our native land, Roman candles in each hand, while the Yankee Doodle band gets hotter than firecrackers. Don't need any long speeches or shouts of hooray. No words can say as much as firecrackers can say. Freedom, freedom. Here comes the freedom man.
On this day of independence, on this Independence Day, listen to an American trooper from the USA. I'm singing a song of freedom for all people who cry out to be free. Free to sail the 7 seas, free to worship as we please. If the birds up in the trees can be free, why can't we? Free to speak and free to hear, free from want and free from fear. Sons of freedom, far and near who agree, sing with me that all God's people shall be free.
I'm singing a song of freedom.
So that was the 4th of July. So let's look over the Polaroids I shot. Moth, you want some? You want some, Mothy? You want some?
I
am the god of hellfire!
Don't hold it right above your head. So here are my 4th of July photos. This photo, yeah, the cardboard thing didn't come out first, so my dad just ripped it off and exposed it to light, and then he just took a photo in the darkness of my house. And then I had to take another photo just outside, just to make sure, that cartridge worked. And here is Daisy, the dog. Yeah, she's such an old bones. Yeah, this one had the neutral density filters that turned it a little bit red. And here is with no neutral density filter all the way down, but the dogs were in the shade. And here's the first photo of fireworks. This one was when it was still fairly bright outside. You could still see the house, as well as all the glowing particles. And then we have these photos, which are of fireworks, of me trying to get the right exposure and the right timing of it blasting out. Yeah, I didn't really get bright explosion except for this one. Yeah, I'm surprised that they were actually this dark because, we think fireworks are pretty bright, so I would think 600 film would expose for them. Well, at least I got some firework pictures. So that was my first adventures with Polaroid film. Yeah, I've noticed that the picture is awfully soft and it's really easy to just blow out or underexpose the image. It's definitely not as sharp as 35mm film, negative or positive, but for the convenience of having it instantly develop, well, instantly meaning, in a few minutes, develop right in front of your eyes without having to wait like a few weeks to get them developed is pretty novel. Still got some charge in there, but no more film.